Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere.
One of my viewers wanted me to talk about how to handle two-faced people in the workplace. Now, this viewer is getting ready to start work as a nurse, and as a male nurse, he is entering into a predominantly female work environment, and he wants to know how to navigate that extremely hostile environment towards men. Now, I want to congratulate the viewer on getting his degrees in nursing and going out here and getting the skills for that profession, because I have a family member who works at a college where they teach nursing, and he tells me that the program is very rigorous and is a lot of work. So I want to congratulate the viewer on going out here and getting those skills, and I'm wishing him success in his career, and I'm hoping that he has a great career in nursing and he can overcome all of the obstacles that are in gynocentric environments like nursing. Now, the first piece of advice I want to give the viewer is I want them to go ahead to Amazon.com and pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace. And the reason why I want him to pick up Stop Simping in the Workplace is because that book will teach him how to identify all of the female predators that lurk in most American workplaces and have a blueprint on how to overcome many of them and how to avoid many of the pitfalls and traps that many men fall into when you're dealing with female coworkers. Now, the first thing I really want the viewer to understand about entering gynocentric environments like nursing is that you are behind enemy lines. And when you go into this workplace is not going to be amicable to you. And understand that if you are a man and you enter this workplace, you are basically not welcome in that environment. So basically come into this workplace not looking to stay in this workplace, but work to do your work to the best of your ability. But as you're working to do your work to the best of your ability, you come in here with a mindset of indifference and objectivity. You can't invest your feelings into this job because you don't know if you'll be able to keep it, because many of the people there really are not going to be welcome to you, and many of the people there are going to be looking to get you out of that job. So you can't invest your feelings into this job because you don't know if you're going to remain there for an extended period of time. So when you go into this job, go in there making it like your first day on the job will be your last day, and start making plans for how you would live if you didn't have this job. So that means don't go out here investing your emotions into this hospital or medical facility because you don't own this facility. Go there with the plan of, I'm going to come in here, learn what I need to learn, do what I need to do to keep this job as long as I can, learn the skills that I need to get as I'm here, and then if they want to let me go, I will just pack up my stuff and leave and be on my way and not have any feelings about the place. This will help you be able to survive in the workplace, because if you go out here investing your emotions into the job, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up completely messed up, because if they decide to let you go, you're going to get hurt and it's going to do really serious damage to your mental health. So don't really invest your emotions into this job because it's not yours, and you're just here to go out here and get your experience and skills that you need in order to move to the next job. Now, as you're in this job, you're going to be having interactions with lots of women, and the way you handle those women is you maintain your professional distance. Now, many women love to be social on the job, and that's all part of their female nature. Women want to get to know people, they want to be social with people, but you have to maintain your professional distance in this era of Me Too. Because in this era of Me Too, a woman can just make an allegation against a man, and that allegation can cost a man his job, his career, possibly if she makes these allegations, especially as related to sexual violence, and it could possibly cost you your freedom. So it's best to go out here and maintain professional distance when you are on the job. And these days, due to Me Too and the standard of trust and believe, which is still the law of the land, even though the Bill Cosby conviction was overturned, in many work environments, especially ones controlled by females, trust and believe is the standard. And because that is the standard, you have to maintain professional distance, and that means no socializing with women in the workplace, on or off the job. And depending on the environments, you can't even say good morning to these women, because some of these women have gone out here and made it where even if you say something to them, they're going to run to HR, making an allegation of sexual harassment. So the best thing to do when you're dealing with women in the workplace is to just keep it extremely professional and only talk about work-related subjects in public areas. If it has nothing to do with work, you do not say anything about it, and you don't talk to a woman on the workplace unless it is work-related. Unless it is related to the task that you are assigned to by your head nurse, you don't make any statements about it. You don't get personal with people, because if you get personal with people, what women will do is go out here and take what you said and then try to use it against you. Because women are, one, the masters of oral combat, so arguing with them is futile, and two, they are masters of words, and they know how to change the definition of words to fit whatever argument that they have. So that's why you want to keep it extremely professional whenever you have a interaction with a woman, and you also want to keep meticulous written records, because a lot of females, they get most of their information by oral communication, and what they want to do is use oral communication in most of their business interactions so that they can make it all about emotions. And people, they're not looking at the records, they're just seeing the feelings that they have. So what you want to do, in addition to keeping your professional distance and going out here and making everything about work, is you want to make sure you have written records of every business interaction that you have on the job. You want to make sure everything is documented so that there's a paper trail when you're dealing with these females on the job. Because again, one of the things women like to do is then say one thing and then say they didn't say it, but when there's a written record, there's no way for them to wiggle out of things, because once there's a written record of something and everything is documented, these women cannot go out here and change things up and try to change things up as related to changing the definition of words, or running to other supervisors and saying, oh, I didn't say that. If there's a written record, it's there, and it says what she is signed off on, and it holds her accountable. Now, the other thing you want to avoid is covert contracts. Now, a covert contract is something that many females like to get people into, and what they want to do is make it where they go out here and have you go out here and make it do something, and then make it where they promise to do something later. And covert contracts are something a lot of females love to do on the job. they love to go out here and make deals on the side as related to unwritten that are not written in the policies, and these unwritten rules are the way that they get over on people. Now, a lot of females love to use covert contracts as related to getting out of shifts at work, and what they will do is they're going to try to come to you and say, hey, I want to go out here and switch hours with you. And once they get you to work the shift that they find to be undesirable, what they do is go out here and get that day off. You're working the shift, and then when it's time for you to work the other shift, they're telling you that they never agreed to that at all, and you're the one who gets completely jammed up because you're stuck working double shifts while this female who you worked one shift for is out here, and you're the one having to pick up her shift because she saw a sucker she was looking to take advantage of. This is almost what happened to me at the City College of New York Science Library. They were trying to get me to work overtime hours without paying me for them, and then coming up with this whole covert contract deal of unwritten days off, and I wouldn't go along with it because if it's a union job, you're supposed to be working overtime for overtime pay. And what they wanted to do was tell me, oh, we keep running out of money as related to our budget. But that's not my problem as a union worker. No, it's your problem that you don't get your funding correct. And that has absolutely nothing to do with me. So when you're dealing with this kind of female and she comes to you with this kind of deal, always decline this kind of deal, because this kind of deal will always be a raw deal for you, especially if you're a first year person, because what these covert contracts do is they'll have the veterans will have you working all of the late shifts, they'll have you working all the double shifts, and they're getting out early and you're working extra hours, and if you're not looking out for yourself, you're not even going to get paid the way you're supposed to get paid. So that's also something you have to look out for when you're dealing with these type of female predators. Always understand that they're looking for somebody to be the workplace simp who will go out here and work the extra hours, go out here, take on the graveyard shift and the late shifts while they go out here and get all the day shifts. That's what they're looking for somebody to do. And that's something you have to look out for with a lot of these types of females. And another thing you have to look out for is these females and giving them information about your life. Because one of the things that I made a mistake on when I was working at City College was I talked about how I was a writer and I wrote books, and this made my supervisor extremely angry. They made my co-worker who worked the desk with me angry, and I didn't know that they had jealousy against me. So you have to watch out for two-faced people like this, and the way you watch out against them is not by giving them any information on you, because these people will use that information against you. So always just keep it to whatever school you went to and whatever skills you had. Don't really talk too much about your personal life, because a lot of these females are gossips, and a lot of these females are looking for information to use against you. And a lot of these females on this job, a lot of them are haters, and then some of them, they project a lot of anger towards men, especially heterosexual black men. So it's a really hostile environment that you're going to be dealing with, but you have to be able to try to learn how to navigate it. And sometimes the best way to do that, again, is by keeping your professional distance, going out here and looking out for yourself, and going out here and keeping everything professional and keeping everything about the book. So you really don't want to be going out here and getting too social with women, because a lot of women, what they do when they get information on a guy, they use it as leverage against him, and then they use that to go out here and run to HR and start making claims about sexual harassment or whatever allegation that they make. So you really want to keep it very professional. You want to keep your, again, professional distance by just, oh, I'm just only going to talk to you about work. I'm not going to get too social with you. I'm going to keep focused on the tasks at the job. And after I finish my shift, I'm not hanging out around here. I'm going straight home. I'm not getting social with people, because getting social with people, especially women, that is the fast track to getting fired, because women, what they want to do is gather information on a man and then look for the bits of information they can use against that man to get him out of a job, because the arrogant notion that many women have is that there's always somebody else out there, and they're always looking for somebody so-called better to replace a person. But you got to make sure that they're not trying to replace you. You've got to make it where your work is so on board and so on point that they cannot look to find anything about it to get you fired. But you have to, again, look out for yourself out here, because, again, there are a lot of enemies in this workplace, and you have to be able to identify those enemies, because, again, a lot of these people don't want you here, but you have to try to hang in there and try to stay on that job as long as possible. And as you're there, the thing that you want to do is look out for yourself and put yourself first. When you're on this job, don't think about trying to stay here. Don't think about trying to move up anywhere. Just focus on the skills you want to acquire. And as you focus on the skills you want to acquire, you're always looking for another job. So when you're a man, you have to understand that you're not going to stay in this work environment. You just want to come in here, get as many skills as you can, and then after you get as many skills as you can, you then take those skills and then sell them and hope to find another job with another employer, because you're not looking to stay in that environment, especially one around women. Because if you're in an environment around women too long, what happens is that these women start making plans to either get rid of you, or they start making plans to make you into their workplace simp, a all-purpose tool that they will use to get to do all the jobs that they don't like. And then as you're doing all the jobs that they don't like, your skills are stalling out, and then they're basically using you as a springboard to move themselves forward, and you shouldn't allow anybody to springboard at your expense. So that you want to go out here, you want to go on this job, you want to do your work to the best of your ability, you want to keep it very professional, and you want to go out here and make sure that all of your communications are professional. Make sure that you keep it amicable. I mean, you don't want to get too personal. You just want to make it all about business. And as you're taking care of business, you want to build your professional reputation and your professional image. And after you finish that, you want to get ready to move on to the next job. And hopefully you'll move into an environment where you won't have too many toxic people. And hopefully you will move into an environment where you can go out here and develop more skills, because the ultimate goal here is to develop more skills and master your skill set so that you can go out here and be a worker that everyone is in demand of. Now, I'm hoping that this advice helps the viewer be able to start their career in nursing, and I'm hoping that I can help them avoid the pitfalls of dealing with these workplace predators that are a major part of gynocentric environments like nursing. And if you want to learn how to avoid female predators in the workplace, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace. And if you want to request a video like this viewer did, you can send a donation to the Cash App, and if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. So that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today.